Do you hear a ringing in your ear?
That's exactly what I have. Do you?
No,
Well, I
only.
do. It's sort of permanent. I don't know how to get rid of it now. Your bell is adding. I mean, you're not helping, but I like it. I like the ring as we agreed before.
Yeah, here we
You
are,
seem
another day in the
upset.
life. Why did you say that? I was upset. I was fine until you said I seem upset.
It's like, don't think about white elephant, right? You didn't think, but when I say start thinking, I didn't mean to, but I just, I'm checking this theory and on around, so I thought,
Well, actually, I am upset if you really want to know about it, and it's your
why?
fault. No,
I know, but
no, no. What I mean is that in Dallas, there was a huge storm that just blew in out of nowhere. Everybody was at their swimming pools and they were rowing on the lake and playing tennis and having barbecues. Everything was fine. And then all of a sudden, there was this giant thunderclap. And then like the barometric pressure just started like rising. And then I felt some like something like get knocked over out in the patio, and just out of nowhere this huge storm blew in. Of course I can hear it outside my door, but I thought I better look on my phone to see what the phone said. So the weather report said, high winds, hail, tornado alert, take cover. I thought, geez, I was just sitting here drinking some iced tea, and all of a sudden, like I have to like get into a bunker or something. And then within about 10 minutes, the power started flashing, and I texted a couple people like, hey, what's going on? And someone said, go to lower ground. I go, yeah, I live on the second floor. There is no lower ground. so, so then, I don't know, the power flashed a little bit. Then it finally like shut off. And I thought, oh, all the food in my refrigerator is going to spoil because it could be out for hours. But in the summertime, the Texas power grid is a big problem for the whole country because Texas has some regulations that are not too friendly to the average man or to the other parts of the United States. So when the power grid blows in Texas, we suck up the power from other places.
well, didn't you get any uh, alert? I mean, just prior.
No, there was no alert. It just all of a sudden came out of nowhere. And then, like, if it's only a tornado, then, and if the tornado is going to hit within like 10 minutes, there will be a siren that goes off in the neighborhood. So I used to live in this other part of town, really swanky part of town, Highland Park. Well, I lived in a townhouse over there. And I had just moved here from Houston, and Houston has lots of floods, like, terrible flooding. So I'm used to floods, but I was teaching downtown at the college, community college, and I was just at home grading some papers. All of a sudden, like my heart jumped. There's this sirens going off. I thought, what the heck is that? And I just texted someone. They go, oh, it's a tornado alert. Like, take cover. I go, what does that mean? And I didn't know because I wasn't into tornado preparedness. I went to flood preparedness. So I had a cat. So I got my cat, and they said, go into a lower area. Well, I'm on the first floor. They go, well, get into your bathtub. I go, the bathtub's upstairs. And so this friend of mine, Mary, said, well, just get in a closet and like don't go anywhere near a window. I thought, oh my God, I'm going to die. And like, why did I move to Dallas? But under the stairs was a small closet. So I got in there with my cat and like a radio and some water and a little tiny chair. And I had a candle with me, a candle and matches, and also a flashlight. So then I realized that I'm in the same area as the hot water heater, and I'm holding like, I've got like a match. Like I could have just blown myself up in there. It's very dangerous being me.
Yeah, I'm just surprised that the alert came too late because this kind of high risk. They should have been issued, right? I mean, long before prior.
Well, the thing is, it was a beautiful day. It was like 93 degrees. People were riding their bicycles. A couple people were at the pool. Some people were off to the liquor store to buy some more beer. Somebody, my friend said, "You want to come over?" And I go, "No, I'm just going to like hang out here and do something." And then all of a sudden, I just noticed it got darker. Like it was the afternoon. It was like, I don't know, like 5 o'clock. It was still light, and all of a sudden, I just noticed it got darker. I thought, "What's going on?" Then I heard the umbrellas at the pool crash over downstairs, at the pool. And then I thought, "What is going on?" Then I opened my phone, and the phone didn't contact me. I just happened to look at this weather alert station, and it said, imminent danger. Well, anyhow, now my heart is pounding. My heart is pounding. I've had a little bit of coffee. Oh, can you try to calm me down?
Yeah, you had any ice cream? You just
No,
eat
I
some
don't have any
cream.
ice.
That will, because you're getting cranky. You need sugar.
I'm not cranky.
No, maybe it's just me. Maybe I need sugar because when I've listened to you, I was wondering what if what happened where I'm come from and what am I gonna do? I don't even have candles, and I don't know.
Yeah, because you're going to order everything offline. You're one of those people that order everything offline. You never go to a real store and buy anything. So like when all of your city is trying to order from Amazon some candles, you're just going to have to wait for the candle delivery to come to your door.
Yeah, I don't know if it works that way. I've ordered a few items, like 3 or 4 from Amazon before, but I was before all that story with and now they don't deliver to Russia, I believe. But maybe they still do. Sometimes you click the item and they say, "Oh, deliver to your country." I don't know. Sometimes they write it like, "No, we won't deliver it to your country." I don't know what depends on.
Well,
They will
the
deliver
other
it to the
thing is
moon.
that I've they can deliver it to Mars, but not to Moscow. I have some coffee with 2 spoons of sugar in it, and I'm thinking, I don't know. No, I'm not going to put whiskey in it. It's too early to start drinking. It's 5 a.m. in the morning. No, other bad things, some really bad things happened yesterday. I went to go visit my friend David, and I pulled up in the parking lot, and I heard him shouting into his truck. He was shouting, he lifted the hood, he was shouting into his truck, and another guy had long hair and was holding a dog on a leash. And I just said from my car window, "David, David." And this guy he came up to me, he goes, "Can I help you?" I go, "I'm Pat in the Hat. I'm David's friend. Who are you?" He goes, "I'm Robert." I go, "I don't like dogs." And the dog started to lunge towards my car. I go, "David, David." And then David got out from his head no, it wasn't, yeah, he had the lid open. Okay, what happened is he has power windows on his truck. And he was looking at this tiny fuse box next to the glove compartment, trying to see which fuse was out because his windows are down. And if his windows are down, that's not good.
Why?
So
I mean,
that's why.
the weather's fine. Lots of sun light and vitamin D. Don't even have to expose themselves. Just get the sunlight all the way you want it.
You're not supposed to use expose yourself, remember?
Oh yeah, I remember you told me that once. Just
Okay.
I'm thinking that in Dallas or in Texas in generally, you don't have to worry about the broken down
Yes,
windows.
you do. If your windows are down, then some people will break in and they'll steal your car stereo. They'll steal your seats. There's lots of car theft. So he was very brave, and overnight his windows, he left them down, but he needs to get them fixed because it'll be daylight, and then all the thieves and robbers will be out looking for windows that are down and fools that left their cars unlocked. So anyhow.
But tell me, does he have, sorry to interrupt, does he have any bottle of Jack Daniels in his car?
No, he didn't, but I was carrying my maker's mark because I was going to go visit
Oh,
these people that were at
uh-huh.
this coffee shop. Remember, I was telling you about these people, Bob, Steve, and Martin?
Yeah, yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
well, okay, last time I was there, Stephen had a bottle, Steva, I'm going to call him, Steva had a bottle, a little flask. And then they asked me if I was going to come back next week. I go, I don't know, maybe. So like I'm all excited, I'm gonna go, hang out at this cool coffee shop. So I had my maker's mark with me, and I had like a shot glass, and I had my journal with me, and so I'm just in my car, and then I decide to. I go, David, would you stop shouting? Like you're gonna have a heart attack. So we just go into his apartment, and then he had coffee, so we started drinking some maker's mark, and then he felt better. And then he went off to AutoZone to try to find a fuse, and I went to the Lila's bakery and coffee shop, and I walked in, and Bob was sitting there. It was real crowded. I go, "Hi, Bob. Are you still Bob?" And he looked up at me and said, "I'm busy texting." I go, "Oh, okay." Then I saw Steven in line with all these people to get a scone or something. I go, "Hi, Steven." He goes, "What do you want?" I said, "Oh, y'all were here last weekend." He goes, "Yeah, I know. We're here every Sunday." I thought, "Oh, ouch." So I just moved away from all that and sat in the corner and read the New York Times.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, when people get rude, I don't know what kind of person get their kicks that way. The lowest of the low, I guess.
Well, what was weird is that they were there last Sunday and people were talking and they were super friendly and they asked me like, "Well, do you come here a lot or like, are you going to be here next Sunday?" I go, "Yeah, I could stop by." And I it was just weird. I don't know. They were just so rude. And the
Yeah.
thing is, these are like, well, you know, there were 2, 3 seats next to Bob at this long table, and I go, "Hi, Bob. Are you still Bob?" Because he was just sitting there looking at his coffee cup, and he looked at me. He goes, "I'm texting." I go, "Okay, well, is it okay if I sit here?" He said, "I said I'm texting." I thought, damn.
Yeah. I mean, you live in the wealthiest areas of your country, and you still have these people. Um, I don't know, bosses and goobers. Like he could have just say hi, right? Or
No, he
I
could have
don't know.
said, "I'm sending a text. Go ahead and sit down, Steve's
Yeah,
in
or
line."
that. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, the thing is, Bob hates living in Dallas now. He said he used to when he moved here from London. Can you imagine leaving London to come to Dallas? The guy's got it all wrong. Anyhow, he hates Dallas. He says Dallas is full of shallow people and nobody reads any books or real newspapers. And the only thing
What?
people care about is money. That was my original conversation with Bob. And then
Hmm.
I quoted a few lines from William Blake or the prologue to the Canterbury Tales. He goes, "Well, you must be one of the few intellectuals of Dallas." And
But you are.
that's how I met him. It was just so weird. And then the guy Steve has this amazing girlfriend who's in Bali. So, they're just like braggers and haters.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to sound like a dick, but that Bob seemed to be a dick.
Yes, he was a British dick. Well, we would call him a
Yeah.
prick.
Did he? I mean, does he have that South London accent? I love it. I wish we could interview him just to test the
Oh,
accent.
hell no. We're
I
not
would
going to
stop
waste
immediately.
petroleum
Maybe
here.
he's just pretending. He's not from London.
He is from London. He's lived there many years. He's a sound engineer who does a lot of work for the Dallas
But how
Opera.
does he
And
sound? I mean, not that he sound engineer, but how would his voice? Do you pick up his accent as
it was,
British?
yes, because when I originally went up to the case last Sunday, I was going to take some pictures of the scones and the quiche and all the pastries. And I just stepped in front of this guy and said, "Oh, excuse me, I'm just going to take a picture." And then he said in English, "Oh, no problem. I'm just waiting in line." I go, "You sound like a Brit." He said, "I am a Brit."
Is he white or
And
black or
he
white?
was yeah, he was a white guy. He
Oh,
was a white guy. He had a nice
a
smile. He
British
was
homie.
friendly. I don't know how to speak British English. I'm from Texas.
I don't know. I like British accents. It's so good to listen to.
Well, not him. Well, anyhow, I
Yeah.
recited the introduction to the prologue of the Canterbury Tales. He was very impressed. And then then when I saw this other guy sitting there, Bob joined him. And then I saw this other little guy named Martin. Martin was the best guy there because he was quiet. And I asked Martin last week, I said, well, how do you know Bob and Steva? He goes, oh, they just come in here and they let me sit with them sometimes. So it's like, oh, wow. Now I understand. Like it's. And then after I was sitting in the corner yesterday reading the New York Times, which he brings and leaves there to educate Dallas as if we can't even afford our own New York Times. I saw Bob stand up and talk to a bunch of girls in yoga pants. That guy's just an old lecturer.
Exactly. That's what I was going to tell you, because British who moved to America, they always, I mean, they seem very attractive. British accents, especially. Not that they have their accent, British accents. Generally, I'm general
yes,
that
yes.
such people seem attractive. Well, it depends, of course, but he's kind of like half semi-Casanova. Right, and he's like speaking British, and everybody, especially women, I mean, they just take the piece out.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Can you do that?
Anyhow.
Can you do British accent yourself?
No, I can't.
I mean, can you try at least?
I can do the prologue to the Canterbury Tales. Vanda April in the shore sota, the drought of March had passed to the rota. That is old English. I don't know British English. I didn't even like
was
London.
Italian.
No, it's not Italian. I'm really getting mad. What is this episode about?
No, I'm thinking Americans, they used to have British accents. I don't remember how and when. Did you lose
We
them?
never had British accents. We never had British accents. This is the American colonies. This is America.
Okay,
This is America. And we had the Boston Tea Party, and we got rid of the taxes, and we said to King George, just, whatever, and we're our own country, and we're gonna.
No, I'm not debating that. I'm saying just British, they have much fancier version of English than you do. But that's not in any derogative. I mean, it doesn't have any derogative meaning or a negative connotation. That's not what I meant at all. I like your accent too, because you're.
No, it sounds like you're rationalizing.
I like British homies.
Homists?
Homies. Homie, you know what homie is? You're my homie. A British homie.
I thought you said hummus. It's like a hummus you eat with chip. Hummus, Hummus, hummus.
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but okay.
No, homies. No, you would never. No, homies is for like, 17-year-old guys standing around a trash can with burning garbage in it, and like, what are those Russian guys that stand around they're wearing jumpsuits and they're drinking vodka and there's a trash can of burning garbage. What is those guys called?
No, I would have like something stronger. Jack Daniels on the rocks, the triple, as I said.
No, wait a second. Wait a minute. My friend Alex told me, well, of course, you are the imaginary friend, but he said, well, here's some Russians for you. And he showed me this little video of these. It's a certain slang expression of young Russian guys wearing Nike jumpsuits and Nike sneakers.
Not Nike. It's usually Adidas. Puma. But I like Nike too.
Okay, Adidas. And they're just standing around this garbage can that is burning.
Well, that's paper. One of the stereotypes. It's it's more of a stereotype. That's the word.
But what are those people called? Those little hood
Yeah,
guys?
You know what they called. You somehow learn the word and repeat it now and then. Tell me you don't remember. You know.
I don't know.
You do.
I don't know. If I knew, I wouldn't be asking you.
Oh, you know
what I'm saying? The word homie. The word homie is used by. This is how it's used in the United States. My homies are. First of all, you have to be rather young to be using that expression, and you have to be kind of like lower class, and you have to kind of like have a bunch of babies with different women, and you just stand around and smoke cigarettes, and you live in the projects. So anybody that would use like my homies, no one who's educated, who has any money, or who even knows what Jack Daniels. Well, I don't know. You just would never use my homies.
Yeah, okay. You're my dog.
Well,
Is that I'm your dog? Can I say that? Like instead of a homie?
don't say that.
Why?
Don't say that.
Okay,
You're
anyway,
saying
you
all
said
these.
that you have to be young. I'm thinking, am I not old? Because the old, I mean, my old is young, and old doesn't get. So my soul is young, and soul doesn't get
No,
any old.
no.
There.
What I mean is like 14 to 19-year-old kids use, or maybe like maximum a 20-year-old would use the word my homies. Gonna go check on my homies.
Yeah, I agree. I used the word do instead. I'm your do. You know what
No,
do
you
is?
doll?
Yeah, do. Oh, what's the word? I don't remember spelling. I'm your
Dog?
do. No, I'm your.
Sound like you said dog.
No. There is not expression the equivalent of homie. I think it's like daughter, but without HTER, like the first four letters. I'm your dove. Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember. Anyway,
Okay, well,
yeah.
moving right
No, I'm
along.
thinking am I an old soul or new soul?
Uh,
Yeah, because you said that on the young people like to say stuff like that, and
no, not
I'm
young.
thinking, well,
It's you have to be very low socioeconomic, and you don't want to stay at home because there's too many people living in your small apartment or your small flat. So you're just standing on the
yeah,
street corners, drinking and cussing and looking at girls. So you can still stand on street corners and drink and cuss, but if you're in a Mercedes, you wouldn't really be of the same socioeconomic. It's more like a socioeconomic
group.
term.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
group.
See,
Group.
I know some stuff too.
You do know some
You couldn't
stuff.
find a word, and I just sort of given it to you, and you accepted. I mean, the word group.
Group.
Yeah. I mean, you were looking for a word, and you couldn't find it, so
I
I gave
was
it to you.
saying I watched this video that Alex showed me about these stereotypical young guys in Russia who this was before the pandemic. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that
don't
was
know. Well,
before. I
anyhow,
remember.
I just want you to know that some of our subscribers are really, really pretty amazing. I saw some new sketches that Tony Carnes made, beautiful paintings, just absolutely fabulous. He's really doing a lot of art, and and lately, and he uses cross hatching for his sketches, and then he does paintings, and he's doing like some really great stuff. And then our friend Mark Stevens is being interviewed by historical societies, and also Michael, our number one subscriber. I call it number one stunner. Do you know that expression, a stunner?
Yeah, that means something like very exclusive, which you haven't seen for
Yeah.
a while, but you kind of like it.
Okay, well, our number one subscriber, Michael, he has all these followers, and some of his followers want to know why he's not around very much, and he is answering them in Italian. See, I always thought that he was an Italian living in Italy. I didn't realize until after a while that he's in Albuquerque, but he has a whole bunch of subscribers. I mean, not subscribers, followers and admirers. I just thought he was a regular guy sitting in a restaurant drinking some wine and watching another building burn. Do you remember when? Do you remember when?
No, I'm thinking if I could speak Italian, if I use online translator, because I think I heard it that Google can do it now. I mean, you say the word in English, but somehow it's translated automatically into Italian. It's speech to speech, I guess, only from one language to another. So if you don't know Italian, but I
I
do,
know
so
Italian. I
okay, if I
sometimes
don't know
teach people.
Italian, and
Okay, well, first of all,
you
I'm
tell
going to
me
teach you.
something in Italian, I can hear it from my phone in English. Can you believe
Okay,
that?
I'm going to tell you in Italian. You don't even need Google's Translate. You're at a bar and you're kind of drinking something, and I'm kind of like wander over to where you are, and I say, hi. And you go, oh, hello. And I'll say, would you like to learn Italian? You go, yeah, sure. I go, so I kind of lean in and I say, well, Italian is in the lips and in the hands. So I go like this. And then I tell you, well, do that. And you go, I go, so repeat after me. And then you go, what's going on? I go, I'm teaching you Italian. And I go, I want another drink. So the bartender brings me a drink, like a bourbon smash or something. And you go, you're teaching me Italian? I go, be quiet. I'm teaching you Italian. I go, just repeat after me. Molto.
You want me to repeat after you now, or were you just giving an
Yeah,
example?
just practice. Molto.
Moto.
More, you need more tongue. Molto. Molto.
M-O-P or M-O-T?
Just listen. Molto.
Mopo.
Then P, like you got to go P.
No,
P.
can you say the whole word?
No, I'm not. You have to play along. We're at a bar. We're drinking. Molto.
Yeah,
P.
but that will take us much faster to learn Italian if you say the whole word.
Molto. We're at a bar and I'm flirting at you. Aren't you having fun?
I don't know yet. I mean, it depends on the word.
Okay, this is how you learn Italian. Molto piacere. And you just kind of lean in, and that's Italian. You know what molto piacere means?
No?
I'm at a bar, you're at a bar, I'm teaching you Italian, you bought me a drink, and I'm leaning in. Molto piacere.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, okay.
So what it means is, I'm so happy to meet you. Molto piacere. And then I put out my hand, and then you kiss my hand. That's Italian.
People don't kiss each other's
Oh,
hands.
yes,
these
they
days.
do. Yeah, they kiss
do?
my hand when I teach them Italian. No, that's how you do it. Italians are all about the hands. Like I have Italian roots. So like we're all about hands. We talk too much, and our hands are flying all around, and we like knock stuff off the table, and we're storytellers.
Yeah, I know only one word in Italian. It's ciao. You can use it as hello and goodbye, and I mean basically everywhere.
Did you want to say goodbye now?
No. Why? Why would you come with this idea?
I don't know. I just thought you mentioned the word
Subconsciously.
ciao, and I thought, no, I thought it meant that you were ready to say goodbye, but you didn't really want to say it because you're always apologizing for apologizing.
No, I mean, we decided to record this episode about watches, right? We just haven't come up to it yet, but now I guess it's maybe the high time. Was it about watches or ice cream?
Yes.
Because I remember one of the first episodes was about ice cream, and people got really interested in because you know a lot about ice cream.
Well, you know a lot about ice cream too.
Yeah, I've just eaten one.
Well, the interesting thing about watches is several times I've sent you the cover shot that says watches, and then you keep saying, well, what should we do next? I go, remember, we're supposed to do watches. And then you tell me you can't remember what we're doing. And then you go, should we do one about watches? And so the thing about the time we're living in, well, quite a few people have some symptoms of long COVID, which is like forgetfulness and inability to concentrate. And then they're taking Adderall, and then their heart is racing, and it's difficult to sleep. There's a lot of problems in this time that we're living in.
Yeah, grazie. Mucho grazie. Is that how they say it in Italian? Thank you very much.
Mucho is a Spanish.
All right. And then
Mucho
how do you say
is
mucho in Italian?
molto.
Okay. Molto grazie. Yeah, I'm thinking now about ice cream because you said you know a lot about ice cream, and I thought, well, I've just eaten one, and I've eaten lots of ice cream in my life. But if you say you know a lot about women, and I would have thought, well, obviously you can't eat a woman, right? But you know.
Well, just don't say that. You don't even know what you're saying. Everything that you're saying has all these sexual connotations because you don't even know English.
What connotation?
The connotation. the connotation is the association around the word. So the actual word expose has a dictionary meaning, but
I
the
don't know how to talk
connotation,
to you anymore. Everything I say seems sexual to you.
no,
Okay,
it's
let's
not
talk about
sexual.
watches.
No, wait a minute. It's not sexual to me, but you know you're not supposed
It
to
is.
use the
You
word
obviously you stop me
expose.
every time I'm trying to explain myself. I'm using this word, not explain. So you see, maybe we should just have these code words for everything, or I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about watches, right? You made a picture a few days ago, I guess. You have lots of watches. You probably love them.
I have a picture that has it's not a Cartier tank, but it's got a pink alligator band, and the face of it says Mary Kay. So Mary Kay was a Dallas woman who made an empire out of selling cosmetics, and it was kind of like a pyramid plan. And other women that would sell these cosmetics would get a pink Cadillac. So I bought this Mary Kay watch at a resale store, and it has a pink alligator band, and it kind of has a Cartier tank sort of face. And then I have a whole bunch of watches. I love watches. When I got my divorce, the first thing I did was go out and buy myself a new watch to congratulate myself.
Yeah, I always thought that Mary Kay was scam company, but maybe I'm wrong.
A skunk?
No? Scam.
No,
S-K-A-M. S-C-A-M.
no. I'm just saying that it is a woman entrepreneur who created an empire of wealth on her own, and she's from Dallas. She was from Dallas, and pink
Yeah.
was her color.
No. I remember that Mary Kay perfumes. I guess they were very popular 30 years ago or 20 years ago. I don't remember. Oh, about 20 years ago in Russia, you mean? And I thought like it was kind of a scam. But then you say that's a very successful businesswoman who was from Dallas
Well,
originally, and
yeah.
she's made lots of money. I should
Well, I'm
probably
just saying,
look her up later because
she's buried now.
didn't know that.
She's
Huh?
buried. She's buried.
Oh, I apologize. I mean, rest in peace, because we always be there. But anyway,
Descanse en paz.
what's that?
That's rest in peace in Spanish.
Oh, okay. Now I feel upset because somehow our conversation turned into.
Well, pretty much everything
Let's
is
talk about more wholesome, something about like watches. So
everything's about sex and death, right?
and
No.
also taxes. We haven't spoken about taxes yet.
No,
And
no,
we should.
I like watches. I have I have a very old gold watch that used to be worn by a great grand uncle. I might have been a little tiny girl. I don't remember him actually, but it came into my possession, and men used to wear a pocket watch. It would fit in the pocket of a vest. So if you were a businessman, this great granduncle was very, very tall, and he had his suits custom made, and he had beautiful shoes, and all the pictures of him are as a well-dressed man, and he was involved in politics and alcohol and all kinds of kind of underworld things. But he was a respected man of San Antonio, one of the founding members of the Casino Club, which was a private men's club. And I have a pocket watch that belonged to him, and you press the top of it and it opens up, and it's engraved on the inside. It's a beautiful, beautiful pocket watch, and it's one of my prized possessions. Do you have some watches?
Obviously, I do. Everybody does. I mean, these days, it's vice versa. Nobody wears a watch, I guess, unless it's part of your entourage. I guess that's a French word. Don't know what that means, but because everybody have these phones, and phones constantly keep time, and you don't need any watch anymore. But I have, yeah. I'm in love with watches because I have Omega, Tudor, I don't have Rolex because they're expensive, kinda. I mean, not that expensive, but still, I don't want to pay 10,000 money at least for some kind of Explorer, which doesn't do anything but shows time. Because
Well, see, in Dallas, people are judged by their accessories. And there's a quote, I'm not sure if it was Coco Chanel or Salvador Dali or Cartier or somebody said the only thing that separates us from the animals is our ability to use accessories.
I agree to disagree because I think that separates us from animals is that we have a sense of humor or we can smile. Yeah, because animals don't smile, I guess. Maybe some do, but I don't know who.
Well, I
Anyway,
like watches and watches and cars are signs of status. So quite often when people go to like bars or clubs or museums or fashion shows or some kind of high power something, what you wear is important. What kind of shoes you have, what kind of watch you have, what does if you're with a guy, what kind of watch does he have? So these are in Dallas in the art museum money world. It signifies that you are from a very wealthy class. So yeah, watches are worn a lot in Dallas. They are worn a lot. And also sunglasses, like Lacoste or Ray-Ban, I love expensive things.
speaking of Omega, I think that's the only brand that's been outside of, I mean, in the outer space, because I don't remember which astronaut exactly, but they took it to the moon. Well, that's what they say at least. I guess that's called Omega Moon Watch. They're about to reissue it. Because I've just discussed this with a few of my friends just a week ago who also have Omega. And yeah, we discussed that Moon Watch. That's why I know it.
I also like I like classic watches, but I like a blue face on like a black watch. And also I saw that Cartier has like a magenta, these are for women, magenta colored face with little diamonds around it. Like it looks fabulous.
You don't want to talk about the moon, do you?
Well, I was trying not to, but I feel
Why
like
don't you like
it's
the moon? When was
I
the
love
last time you looked at the moon?
well, not yesterday because we were having a dang you know tornado
Storm.
alert.
Hmm.
No, I mean I look at the moon quite a lot because I go out at night. Like I sometimes sleep in the late afternoon and then I go out at night. And one of the first things I do is look up at the sky and I'll see the moon. Like I'll see a full moon or I'll see the red ring around the moon.
Can you take the camera next time you're out and make a bunch of pictures, and we'll just make an episode about that?
Yeah, I have some pictures of the
You know,
moon.
it's always we discussed it before that it always faces the Earth with one side. You knew that, right?
Uh, was not really thinking about that, but I just know there's lots of cool moon things we can talk about, and I think that that's going to be a great next episode. And I think that it's really great that our subscribers have made suggestions about what we could do as a next episode. Do you know what
Imagine if
one of the subscribers suggested as a coming episode?
no, tell me about that.
Was that yes or no?
No?
It sounded like you said meow.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if the moon was a watch, what time would it show? I mean, the small hand, how do you call that? The long hand, the small hand?
Shorthand.
How do you
Shorthand. It's short and long.
Short and long. If the moon was a watch, I mean, it's perfectly circumferential. What's the word? I mean, it's round, right?
Spherical.
So just like the watch.
Spherical.
Yeah, you would have
Spherical.
put spherical. Yeah, you would have put a watch on the moon. And what time would it have shown? Right now, I mean. I would have put the short hand, I would have put a 10. And the long hand, I would place the 2. What would you do?
10 and 2.
Mm. like
What would
10
I
minutes
do?
past 10 a.m. What would
Well,
be
what
your
I would
time?
do is I would put the shorthand at 12
Hmm.
and the longhand at 12. What time would that be?
Midnight, probably. I'm just thinking if that could be your psychological profile. If you were in therapy and you would have such a question, like if that was a mental health day, like the animal thing. Remember, you said, what animal would you like to be today?
Oh,
Another
this is
question would be about,
I've also seen, I noticed that this is men's mental health. This is
what?
Pride Month, but it's also Men's Mental Health Day.
Oh, I've seen
But
the
if I
news. Yeah, it's a LGBT Pride Month, but I didn't know it's month. I thought that was a day because I opened one website and it was what's that?
rainbow stuff,
Rainbow, exactly, rainbow colors. I thought something wrong with my monitor, but then I thought, no, that looks like LGBT emblem. And yeah, it's all over the news these days.
it's a whole
Uh,
month. Well, the other thing about listen to this: if the short and the longhand were at 12, would that be noon or would that be midnight?
I think that would be midnight, because there's nothing romantic about the noon. But about the midnight, lots of things are romantic. Everything about the midnight is romantic, don't you think?
Yeah, that's why that's my number.
Do you think we have gay subscribers?
Yes, we do. We've already discussed that. We've already discussed it. You have long COVID. You can never remember anything. We did a whole episode where Austin and Amos are on the cover shot, and Austin is wearing my red sunglasses. Do you remember that episode? They're like really amazing, fabulous young guys of Dallas. And that we have lesbian lawyers that are subscribers. I know you've forgotten,
No,
and that's what
now
we're.
I remember that. I honestly forgot for a minute, but now it came back.
Yes, and we have
Yeah. I
all
wish we
kinds of
could
subscribers.
talk to them.
We
Yeah.
can't talk to them because they're busy being amazing. They're playing putt putt. They're
No,
going
we
to.
can't. You know why? You know why we can't talk to them? Because it's nighttime at where you're at, and normal people are sleeping, right? And
No,
it's when
no,
they will
no,
wake. No?
no. These are people that go out at night. Like there's like bars and clubs, and they have midnight at the Nasher. The Nasher is a beautiful museum of Japanese Chinese art. They have midnight at the Nasher. They have swimming parties on the top of hotels that go on all night long. This is Dallas. Like
Yeah.
the people that are sleeping are the people that have to get up and go to work the next day. No, I just know that Amos and Austin posted something about how they went to this really great plant sale. Somebody has a cute little house. I think it's these two ladies that have a house, and it's all full of plants and cute T-shirts and neat jewelry. And they had a band playing out front. It was out in Bishop Arts area. So the latest thing I've heard from Amos and Austin is that they went to this fabulous plant sale and they bought plants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you? I mean, I'm thinking if everyone is in Dallas is judged by the watch they have because it's part of status. I mean, those people who are very wealthy, do they wear luxury watches every day? Because I don't. I don't.
Yes,
First
they
of all, it's
do.
kind of
Yes, they
heavy.
do because they're going to events, like they're these special fundraising events, and you have to have a different outfit, and you have to have a certain dress, and you have to get your hair done in a certain place. And if you're going to a gala, GALA, like a fundraising for the Cancer Society, the fundraising for the Shriner Hospital, if you're going to a huge fundraiser, then you have to be dressed and you make a contribution of money to this organization, and it's a philanthropic endeavor, and you just can't show up holding your cell phone looking at what time it is. Holding your cell phone looking at what time it is for the common man. Now, I am
You know
also
how
the
people
common
could
man.
could tell time before watches? They looked at the sun, and sun did the job for these people. Can you tell the time by looking at the sun?
Okay, well, first of all, I would like to do a disclaimer. Our subscribers should not look directly into the sun. They should look at their shadow on the ground as if it is a sundial, and the position of their shadow will be what time it is. Your body is the arm of a sundial.
Yeah, technically you're right. Technically.
Of course,
Yeah,
I'm
but,
right. No, I like to talk about time, and also, you know, everybody is so many people are so addicted to their phones, myself included. They're always looking. Like I hear the weather outside my door, but I'm looking at my phone to find out what the weather is. I have another good friend, like she's driving, she's got the Bluetooth on, she's texting her daughter, she's got the GPS on, like we're almost getting into a wreck. And she's lived in Dallas her whole life. I go, Mary, let's just turn all this stuff off. You've lived in Dallas in your whole life. Like, turn all this stuff up. She goes, well, we have this technology. We should use it. So, I decided not to go around with her for a while because I didn't want to like die in a distracted driving moment. But yeah, people will wear watches to go to events, or like some people are going to a swimming pool party where they have to show that they have an amazing, waterproof watch, or I don't know, people wear watches a lot. There's also something that came out, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago called the Swatch, Swatch.
yeah, I know. It's not luxury, but it's a very famous watchman.
They were fun. They were so much fun. And then there were some like knockoffs that would come to Target. And I remember I bought some knockoff ones like that because to give one of my daughters for some reason. Everybody was, well, I mean, she had some really wealthy friends, but at least my daughter had the knockoff brand. But they were fun. They were fun to wear, and they were like colorful.
You know what's special about luxury watches? Because you develop some kind of an addiction. You have one brand or one watch, okay, expensive, right? Now you need another, and then another, and it becomes sickness. I guess I've been through it, and yeah, I've been around.
No, it becomes like a collection. For example, we have a subscriber who has suggested we make an episode about cheese. And he loves cheese and I love cheese. And we talked about Fontina and Gouda and Brie and Burrata. And like, if you're into cheese, you just want to try all the cheeses. And if you start getting interested in watches, like sometimes I'll go to these resale shops where, a lot of people are looking at dresses and purses. I don't look at that. I go and look at guitars, electric guitars, and I look at watches. So, because if you can find like a Stratocaster guitar or a Martin guitar at a resale shop for like $100 or $150, or if you go look at the watches, a lot of people that go to these resale shops are not looking for watches, but I have to stop. I had to stop going into resale shops because I was literally, salivating in the parking lot as I got out of my car, wondering what I was going to find. That's when I knew I had a. Looking back on it, like I also would go into like the high-end shops and look at them, but sometimes I would find real. Like they have an estate sale, like somebody passes away, then somebody just, the family comes and takes what they want, then the rest of it they just haul off to a Salvation Army or Goodwill or one of these, places. And then these items show up in these jewelry cases. And I literally had to stop going into a couple of these shops because I knew I could find something amazing. And, I had all these guitars, and then my friend David Anton was helping me do a garage sale. And I said, everything on the front lawn, this is when I was in a kind of a duplex house, everything on the front yard is for sale, and everything on the porch is for sale, but don't let them come into the house. So he was helping me do the garage sale. Then I went off to go get some change, and I came back and some of the guitars were gone. And he said, I go, where are my guitars? He goes, I don't know, somebody offered us some good money, so I went ahead and just sold them. I go, those were in the front room. He goes, well, I felt like you would like to have the money. So I almost had to kill him. But, yeah, watch collecting is something to do. Like some people collect paintings, or some people collect shoes. And about how many watches do you have? Like 4, 7?
No, it was 10 now, but it was much higher number. You can't afford luxury watch collection. It's kind of expensive. And I don't if you, I mean, it's addictive, as I told you. So basically, you lose control, you lose touch with reality. And I mean, if you see somebody wearing 30,000 K watches, you don't know if he's good with money or he's bad with money. Because if he's an addict, he's bad with money, even though he has this expensive model on his wrist. See my point?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I
mean,
know. I feel sad.
I feel excited.
Because it's not your money. You spent on a useless thing. Yeah.
No. The other thing is that, like, when you wear certain things, and people assume certain things about you. So I was living at one point in time in Highland Park on Turtle Creek Boulevard. It's like one of the priciest, other than Madison, well, like Hollywood and California and, like, Manhattan. In Highland Park, there's a boulevard called Turtle Creek Boulevard. Somehow I was renting a flat on Turtle Creek Boulevard, and I had a 2-bedroom flat. When I rented it, I didn't even know that behind this one mirrored area was another bedroom and a bathroom. That's how, like, dumb I was. But it had, like, valet parking, and it was 2-3 streets off from Holy Trinity, my church. And I just know that when I don't really have a lot of money. Like, my daughters have money, but people would assume that I had so much money because I lived on Turtle Creek. You can't believe how many people wanted to be my friend and wanted me to buy stuff. It's like when you have a good address, or you have a great watch or a great car, sometimes people are kind of like leeches or vampires, and they just want to suck out your life.
Hey, what's that boulevard name again?
Turtle.
What?
Turtle Creek Boulevard.
I thought Total Creep. Well, that's a strange name for a boulevard.
No,
but it's a Turtle Creek.
You are a total creep.
Hey, I like, you know what? Speaking of watches, what I got myself thinking, because I have a few models, quartz, but mostly, I mean, luxury watches, that mostly mechanicals. And what I like most is I like the ticking sound. If you want to go to sleep, you just listen to a watch. I'm not sure if you have mechanical or not.
Oh,
but if you have mechanical, you like
no,
it too?
When I was growing up, we lived in Frankfurt, Germany, and my mother and father started buying clocks that you can put on the wall, and it actually has a pendulum that swings. Mm-hmm. And so they would buy a lot of interesting things all over Europe, like Marimekko plates and, I don't know, all the china and silver or crystal. Anyhow, they brought all these wall clocks, and they were in my mother's house. And then when my mother passed away, there were these, her children decided who got what. But I remember as a child or teenager, the sound of these clocks on the wall. And it was mm-hmm. like, it was so wonderful. I absolutely loved the sound of the pendulum, and you wind it up with a key in the face of the watch.
Mm-hmm.
And the wall clock.
Wristwatch, you wind up with that small head on the side
stem.
What's it called?
STEM, like stem cell research.
Yeah, could be. Yeah, don't know.
Well, it's interesting. The advertising they use for watches, like here is a, how would you pronounce this? Seiko.
Seiko.
Yeah, Grand Seiko.
That's a Japan
watch.
made. Yeah, I love them. Grand Seiko. I have one. Absolutely stunning.
The advertising says, not just telling time, living in it. The ad says, Grand Seiko, alive in time. Like,
Seiko, they were always considered some sort of, not luxury, definitely. They've recently become entry-level luxury watch with Grand Seiko. But before that, no, because technology is so far, so much better. or so much. What's the word? I don't know. Than it was 30 years ago.
But the thing is, they're competing now. That's a very seductive, alluring ad, and it's
You know
the
what? My
advertising.
favorite watch is Seiko, but like some sort of a vintage, you may call it. It's 35 years old.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I thought of buying a watch which I was born in 1972, so I thought if I buy Seiko, if I buy myself Seiko, which was issued 1972, would that be nice? But then again, it belonged to another man, and they say you can't switch mechanical watches, especially between two men, because it somehow, I mean, it's a quote unquote, of course, that somehow it's adjusted to your heartbeat or something because you were so long. So I didn't risk just, I don't like things, switching things.
Well, I don't know. My favorite watches are like I love Cartier tanks, the tank watch, and it has the Roman
Well, it's
numerals
very
on it.
expensive. Yeah. Yeah, no.
I
It's a men's watch,
and
by the way,
I
right?
like
Or do
that,
they have
and I
women's
like
edition?
black Jaguars. I like black Jaguars. Those are my like a Cartier tank watch and a black Jaguar. Now I did ride in a Jaguar once, and it was black. It was a black Jaguar that
Yeah.
this guy, this guy's wife. I don't know. It wasn't his wife. The person who was sort of keeping him had bought him this beat up black Jag, and the door on the right wouldn't open. So you had to kind of like if you have a Jag, you should be able to get it fixed at an auto shop. But this guy was kind of, anyhow. So we rode around in the Jag a little bit. I don't know. I have like a Toyota, and he asked me if I wanted to. We were going to go to this club, and he asked me if we should take separate cars, if we should go in his car. I go, well, let me see your car. That's a very Dallas thing to say. Like, let me see your car. And then it was a black Jag. I would have gone anywhere with that man because he had a black Jag. But we had fun. It was crazy. He drank too much, but it's okay.
You know that Jaguar is a panther. You knew that, right?
Yes.
It's just basically a huge cat. Only it's black, naturally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Well,
thought just maybe you didn't know. Maybe you thought that was just a car, but yeah, okay. It's a
well,
big cat. They all
it's
called
got
panthers
the
without being
hood
black. But if
ornament.
you're black, you're Jaguar.
It's got the hood ornament, the panther there.
What?
You know the hood ornament?
No?
Okay, there's a car, and then the hood has the motor inside of it.
Oh, yeah.
And then the tip of the hood has the emblem, the panther.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I did not
That's
know that. I don't see any Jaguars here in Moscow. We don't have many. Maybe there are some, but it's a British make, isn't it?
I'm not sure, but it's great in Dallas because you can drive around because the weather's good.
No, Jaguar is a British-made car, I think. Maybe they produce it in the US these days, but I've seen. I always thought that's a British. Maybe not. But then again, you don't like London accent. But you do like black Jaguars. It's incongruity. I like incongruities. It's like dogs playing poker. Remember I told you about that painting? Because it's
Okay.
incongruent.
Okay. Well, what do you think? What would be your next watch if money was no object?
Uh, I would probably go for Rolex. Somehow the classic one, they just made another. I think they reissued 40 millimeters dial, or maybe they already have this year or last year. I think for 20K you can buy yourself. I mean, it's perpetual mobile or what's called. It will last for your life definitely. I like mechanical watches. But
Yeah.
again, it's useless purchase because you can get Casio these days or Citizen sun-powered, which will last even longer than Rolex. But still, something. It's not about the detail. It's not about the piece. It's about the philosophy. Or Seiko. I'm absolutely in love with Seiko, especially with the Grand line, great Seiko's line. But still, I would have probably opted for Rolex. Don't know
Well,
why.
I'm
Maybe
reading this.
brand made me.
I'm reading this advertisement about the Omega. It's called the Omega Speedmaster Gold. It started in 1965 when NASA qualified for an all-man space flight and this is the watch that was designed for that. The Speedmaster passed with flying
Yeah, it was on the
colors.
moon. Hmm.
Yeah, and now they're selling this gold version of it. It has a black face. It's not actually gold. It's kind of pink. It's kind of a pink
Yeah,
gold.
because it's a gold. It's a rose gold, I guess. That's why
Oh,
it's
okay.
kind of
Yeah.
pink. Yeah. You know
Yeah.
what? How many fake watches these days includes Rolex, Omega, whatever, because the technology again, it's so developed until unlike it was 30 years ago where you couldn't make a fake watch, and but then again you can tell a fake watch if you have it close enough.
Well,
But there are so many
I
fake
know in
Rolexes.
I know in Manhattan when you go around Times Square. Okay, this is going to come back to the word flashing and exposing. Like there are people who will wear trench coats and they're wearing clothes and they open up their trench coat and on the inside of their trench coats are all these watches you can buy. And these are
Yeah.
knockoff watches.
But
And
still, I wouldn't have buy myself something flashy. I would have buy myself something very undiscreet but very expensive. That's why I like Rolex. It's just showing time, a piece of metal basically. It's not just metal, of course. It's a crystal and stuff. But still, I wouldn't ever buy myself a gold watch. Unlike you, because I don't know, many people like gold. I don't. I like
I
steel.
mean, I like silver and turquoise. I like silver and onyx. Like in terms of jewelry,
Yeah.
I like silver and gold. I like silver and turquoise, silver and onyx. I like lapis lazuli, but I just like the Cartier tank with the Roman numerals.
Yeah, it's a very famous watch. Very famous. Also maybe expensive. But I don't like it. I don't know, for no reason. It's not me.
Well, I don't want to be grim, but they say that the ancient Egyptians, the pharaohs, would choose what they would want to go with them when they die. So they would put things into their coffin or their sarcophagus. And then they also, would put the possessions that they liked. And sometimes they would mummify a wife or their kids or stuff like that and put them into the coffin, the sarcophagus. But, let's imagine that you have some very famous possessions that you like, and you could take them with you into the afterlife. Well, I would want to take this. It's probably rose gold, the pocket watch that belonged to the great uncle. I would want to take these Afghan cables that are inlaid with mother of pearl from the Khyber Pass. And then also I have a Limoges, Limoges. It's the Scales of Justice. Limoges is a type of I don't know what you can call them in English. Well, anyhow, Limoges. I would put the Scales of Justice, and then I have a ring that my grandfather gave me. It's an aquamarine set in silver. Well, what would be some things that you would like to, if you could, take them with you into the next
I'm
world?
thinking about the ancient Egyptian pharaohs you mentioned, because when they died, they didn't only take their possessions; they occasionally would have their servants sacrificed as well,
Oh yeah, that's what I was
so
saying.
that
Like
they
they would
could
take their,
continue serving them in the afterlife.
yeah, and that's why like being married to the pharaoh might be okay, but like if the pharaoh died before you did, then you got to go too, because if you were his favorite wife, like
Isn't that
you know,
awful?
yeah, well, it.
No?
We're, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say. I'm glad that I'm a Texan, and I'm just gonna rise to fight another day, right? Ciao.
Okay. Ciao.